So yesterday we have seen the mobile computing definition. So how this particular mobile computing definition will come into existence and what this particular mobile computing comprises of. So this mobile computing is nothing but a technology which is going to use the cellular communication, wireless LANs, and satellite communication, having the transmission of both video, audio, and multimedia graphics. So whenever a device is having the capability of communicating with different number of communicating points, connecting with wired and wireless devices, connected to the specific network, and accessing different communicating and connecting points, and also able to transmit both the voice data and also the graphical information, whatever the transmission media that we are going to use, all are going to be used. And if this particular device is having the capability of computing anything personally on that particular device using all these facilities, that is communication network, communication transmission media, and communication accessing methodologies, and also connected with the wide devices and the wireless devices, whatever the thing, having the communication with the satellites, having the communication with the connected points, having the communication with the non-connected or wireless devices, and whatever it is, if it is having the capability to do all these things, having all these in connection, then that particular device will be comes under a computing environment called as mobile computing environment. And the name implies as it is the device may or may not static, especially one of the device may be of a handheld device, or it is having the mobilization. It can be immobile. It is having the property of mobility. So how it is going to be doing the mobility procedure? That is, what is the things? Not whether only the mobile phone is going to be included in this mobile computing environment. No, even though the corresponding heading or the subject is going to be giving us the title of mobile computing, the computing procedure or the computing capability of a mobile device. The device may be not only a cellular phone or a mobile phone, it may be a tablet, it may be a iPad, or it may be a PC or a desktop, and whatever it is. If it is having the position of a mobility, and if it is connected with number of networks, it is having the satellite communication. It can be connected with wide networks and the non-wide networks. And it could be connected with, it can be able to pass with any type of transmission media. And it is going to transmitting any type of data, then it is going to be called as the mobile computing device, or a computing device having some mobility with it, right? And that particular resulting environment having all these devices in combination, is called as the mobile computing environment or the nomadic uh, computing. 98, no problem. And next, if this particular, I mean, if you can withdraw and we can constitute all these environment, and we are going to substitute or going to constitute this communication era or environment, then we can say that we are existing in the mobile or nomadic computing. And that particular computing is having the lots of applications in real time. And it is particular computing is having a lots of applications in real time as we are advancing in each and every technology. As we are advancing in each and every technology, it is having various sets of applications with it. And coming to that particular application, before going to the application, we also discussed about the category of the communication device. So a device which is in this particular computing environment, a communication device may be of different characteristics. A communication device may come under any type of characteristic. So what sort of communication device we may have in this particular mobile computing environment, and what sort of communication device and what characteristics that particular communication device will have is nothing but we are having the four characteristics in these particular communication devices. So what are those? Fixed and wired. That is nothing but the devices will not have any mobility and they will be connected with a specific connection. The devices will not have any mobility and the devices are being connected with a specific connection. There will be a wired connection in between the communication devices. That is one of the category. And next one is mobile and wired. Mobile is nothing but one of the devices in the communication channel is going to be a mobile one, whereas some other may be of a wired things. Like for example, our laptops are going to be mobile devices, whereas the corresponding routers or the modems through which you are going to connect it to the network are all the wired devices. They will be connected with the wires. Right. Next one is fixed and wireless. So fixed and wireless is nothing but, for example, already we discussed in the previous class, yesterday class, that is our college Wi-Fi. College Wi-Fi is going to be connected with wires. So we'll be having a wired connection. We'll be having a wired connection, which is will be, I mean, wired or wireless, whatever it is. Both are going to be having in a organization or historical building, and it will be fixed. It won't be movable. So whatever the connectivity, whatever the Wi-Fi in our college background or college organization, it won't be changes, right? We will be moving, but the connection will not be moved. All the wires are, or the connections are going to be fixed, and also wireless. We are going to be using, but out of the premises, we can't get that particular Wi-Fi, isn't it? So that is the fixed and wireless. Next one is mobile and wireless. It is obviously known by us, very popular and very fond of devices for all of us. That is nothing but the mobiles, which are having the mobility and also wireless devices. Okay, so they are going to be working with any type of network without any wired connection. They will be moving. There is no restriction for anything. That is, there should be a wired device or a connected device. There should be a communicating network, or only a specific network will be there. A fixed network will be there. There will not be any restrictions for this particular type of communicating device, right? And next one is applications. So where this particular mobile computing environment works, or where it is going to be used, the many number of novel applications are there where this particular mobile computing environment comes into work or comes into play. So some of the applications in real time are the smartphones, enterprise solutions, music, video or ebooks, mobile checks, mobile commerce, and mobile-based supply chain management in the business organizations. Other than this, only some sort of applications have been listed here. Other than this, we're having many sort of applications in real time where we'll have the mobile computing environment or mobile computing usage. Right. So we'll go deep into the applications now. We'll have the different types of smartphones or the mobile phones. In category of the smartphones, we'll take the two examples here. Categories how it is going to be having additional computing functionalities based upon the category of the phone that you are going to use. What sort of smartphone you are having. If it is of BlackBerry, if it is of the BlackBerry 8530 curve, it is having the different computational capabilities when compared to the speaker phone that is normally used by the normal people, or when compared to the normal smartphone, if it is of a speaker phone, how that particular phone will be different from the normal BlackBerry. So if it is a BlackBerry, it is having certain categories of characteristics, computational capabilities like already everybody know about, but how it is going to be differentiated. That is, a BlackBerry is having the SMS, MMS, phone, email, integrity, attachment, Bluetooth capability is there, and then N keys are there, QWERTY keypad will be there, and it is going to be having on the particular phone screen itself. All these facilities are available on the BlackBerry phone. Whereas speaker phone is having its polyphonic ringtones, bright volume and the light resolution, different various colors are available, and Wi-Fi facility will be there, GPS tracker will be there, and media transmission will be there, recording, communication, live procedure, and also SD card facility will be also there. So how the variations, how the computing facilities are being varied according to the applications and according to the use of environment and the user's requirement. How the mobile, at least mobiles are going to be get varied on a handheld device. On a handheld device, very smaller and compact in nature, they are going to be varied in different ways, even though they are pertaining for the same communication procedure, whether they are pertaining for only for same communication procedure, they are varied in different features. So all those are comes under the computing environment, computing facilities itself. So BlackBerry is having some computing facilities, functionalities, and speakerphone is having certain computing functionalities, right? And coming to the enterprise solutions. Okay, voice is not clear. Not able to hear. Right. I think I am clear now about voice, right? So coming to the enterprise solutions. So how the larger business networks and enterprises are going to be using. They are using the mobile computing solutions and mobile computing facilities or different characteristics for different purposes. That is how they are being using this particular mobile computing environment for their businesses. They are programming and they are being giving their what is called as the requirement for the programming people for designing this particular mobile computing environment for their own application area, like storage management, security, revision and distribution, and so on. Likewise, according to their business, according to their requirement in their enterprises, how that particular corporate enterprises or the business organizations require the mobile computing environment to be used in their environment, used in their organizations. They will be using that particular computing environment for storage data. That is, they will be having a vast data of their business. So they are going to storing the data there. They are securing some personal information regarding the organization. They are revising certain reports and the data or the turnover or the products or business information. And they also want to distribute the data to various people for their references or for their information checkup and whatever it is. For these categories, that is storage management, security, revision, distribution, these category of computing facilities are required by the enterprises. So they are going to be giving these requirements for their what is called as programming people to design the computing facilities in this way. That is, they are serving these needs. Okay, that is about the enterprise solutions. And coming to the music video and ebooks, already everybody know about these things. All are going to using iPods, iPads, and iPhones, tablets, and whatever not. Everything are going to have much of entertainment for us, and at the same time, educational side also, we are going to provide it with ebooks, okay, e-videos, okay, e-learning websites. All are being provided. So by using this mobile computing environment itself, we are able to learning, or we are able to listening, or we are going to enjoying the different entertainment channels. That is, we are listening the music, we are viewing the videos, and also we are learning various things from by reading the ebooks from them. That is, this is the one of the application area. And next one is mobile check and mobile commerce. And already everybody know about the e-commerce. E-commerce has been previously done using the PCs and the desktops. E-commerce has been previously done using the what is called as desktop or PCs or systems. So using the network and getting connected to the network, using the desktops and the PCs, they use it to do the e-commerce. That is supply. I mean, whatever it the e-commerce that will be done by the customers, that on the side of the customers and on the side of the what is called as merchants. Merchants are going to be doing the business, and the customers are also consumers are also going to be doing the business. They are been ordering the product. They will be providing the products. Some are going to be the manufacturing units. Some are going to be the supplying units. Whatever the business they are doing, they are going to be performing the e-commerce on the PCs and the desktops. But once this mobiles came into existence, whenever their work has been made handy, without going to the desktop, without sitting at somewhere and doing the work by connecting to the network, instead of that, after getting this handy mobile into their hands or the mobile devices, like using the iPads, iPods, or using the tablets for engaging their business or for performing their tasks in the business, or payment of the things, payment like things has to be done. That is exchanging the text messages between the people or customers or the different co-businessman, or exchanging the payment in between the merchant and the consumer. Everything will be done by the mobile commerce itself. That is, using the mobile itself, we are performing the e-commerce. And for payment purpose, you are going to use the mobile checks. That is, using the mobile itself, you are going to be what is called as raising a check and demanding a check, and you are honoring the check. Everything has been happened. So that is using that particular mobiles or mobile computing facility itself. We are implementing the what is called as e-commerce and also the check. That is, already we know about your tracking our movie tickets, you are ordering our food, you are ordering our required products on the mobile, whatever not, you are doing with everything with the mobile by using the e-commerce procedure. Okay, next one is supply chain management. This is among the what is called as business solution. This is one of the business solution where there couldn't be any gap between supply chain management. See, in the second year, while you are discussing about the e-commerce, we discussed about this particular topic, that is supply chain management. That is nothing but there couldn't be any break and there couldn't be any gap between this supply chain management in the business organizations. Why? Because whenever there is a demand for the products, that particular supply should reach that particular demand whenever we want to have the business to be get elevated in the market. So for that purpose, whenever we want to go for that particular demand over, I mean, that whenever we want to reach that particular demand in the market, then we have to able to provide proper supply of that particular product. That is nothing but that particular supply chain has to be maintained. That particular supply chain has to be maintained. Okay, then this particular supply chain management can also be managed. That can also be managed by using this particular mobile basis thing. This particular mobile basis thing. So this particular supply chain management, some sort of softwares are also been introduced for managing the supply chain management, which are mobile based, like Salesforce and manufacturing units are going to managing this particular SCM software, which are going to providing this particular supply chain management software for us for maintaining the business, right? And these are all the applications that we've been discussed, which are being used by the mobile computing environment in real time. In mobile computing environment in real time, this particular supply chain management is going to be working out. And coming to the architecture. So how this particular mobile computing architecture looks like. So what sort of different levels of stages are there? Different sort of different stages are there in this mobile computing architecture, so that our applications are being running in real time. Whether they may be the entertainment, they may be the business, or there may be education, or whatever, not only the communication of the data and whatever it is. If all these category of applications are running in real time, what sort of architecture is that background, and what sort of components are at background that are being making this particular applications working successfully, and these many type of environments are working intact without any break. Okay, so this is nothing but the what is the mobile computing architecture is nothing but architectural requirements for the programming a mobile device, whether it may be a PC, or I mean whether it is maybe a laptop, or maybe a tab, or maybe a iPod, or maybe a simple mobile. So whatever the mobile device that you are going to use, what are its architectural requirements for programming it? What are all the components involved in it? Simply programming doesn't require only the programming knowledge or the logical knowledge. We do require at a certain time what are all the different hardware under beneath that particular device, so that we can program accordingly, right? So for that one, we have to learn about different architecture stages and levels of a mobile computing environment in order to go for programming that particular device. Okay, so the requirements that are for this particular mobile computing architecture are programming languages, that is already we know about that. Functions of OS, already you have learned about the operating systems, and functions of middleware. So other than this particular programming language, which are acting as software, and also the hardware components, which are our gadgets, and about between that particular gadgets and also the software underlying it and which is controlling it, we are also having certain components called as middleware, which are going to be acting as interfaces or matching devices or compatibility devices or helping devices in between the hardware and the software. So what are these middleware devices? What they are will helpful for? So we have to know about the programming languages, functionalities of OS, and functions of middleware languages. So, and mobile computing architectural layers, protocols, and layers. All these things has to be learned by us to know about the mobile computing architecture, right? So coming to the programming languages, what sort of programming languages and varieties of programming languages are useful? What sort of programming languages are useful in mobile computing architecture? That is, which languages are useful for programming this mobile computing architecture? Popularly, Java will be used. J2ME and Java Card. J2EE used for web and enterprise server-based applications. That is, mobile servers will be mainly programmed by J2EE, whereas normal applications will be planned by the J2ME and the Java Card, and whereas mobile servers and enterprise servers are being planned or programmed by J2EE. And nowadays, the .NET and Python 2.7 are also being used for this programming the what is called as mobile computing architecture. That is, mobile devices are being programmed mainly by the Java applications or the Java program. J2ME or the Java card will be used, whereas J2EE will be used for server-side programming, and .NET and Python 2.0 are also be used for both the applications and also for the server side. Right, that is about the programming languages. And coming to the operating system. Already you know about this particular operating system will be acting as an interface between the hardware and the software. Even though the operating system is also a software, even though the operating system is a system software or the system program, it is going to be acting as an interface between the hardware and also the software. So here what they are saying is it enabling the user to run an application without considering the hardware specification and the functionality. See, even the particular hardware is not known to us. Whatever the organization of the hardware, how they have been designed, how they are been working, what are their versions. We doesn't know about the hardware. Even though we doesn't know about the hardware specifications, we use it to download many of the applications in our mobile devices. So many of the applications we are going to be downloading. So the one which is going to making our applications to run irrespective of the hardware beneath it is nothing but the operating system. Without intervention of the hardware and without knowing about the version of the hardware underlying in the mobile device, the operating system will enable us to run an application. And it is going to be scheduling the multiple tasks already you know about, how it is going to be scheduling all the jobs without any conflicts and managing the memory, functionality of the tasks, interfacing between the software and hardware, how it is has to be communicating, dealing with the middleware, and different libraries has to be maintained for maintaining the GUI and also the hardware. So all these has to be the functionalities that will be performed by the operating system in a mobile device. What it has to do, it has to run an application irrespective of the hardware organization. It has to schedule all the jobs that are run by the mobile user. And also it has to memorize and manage the different tasks and data that are run by the application programs. And also it has to interface the different communication devices, both with the user and also the hardware and also the software and also the middleware, which are all interfaced with our mobile device. And it has to also take care of conferring the different libraries that are being installed in the softwares of the corresponding mobile. These are all the functionalities of the operating system, which has to be constituted along with its installation whenever the corresponding mobile application has to run. 1 second. So that is about the corresponding functionality of the operating system. So before learning into the architecture of the mobile computing environment or mobile computing programming, the particular mobile computing device has to be programmed, and its programming has to be done by the Java popularly. JTME will be used for the applications and J2EE will be used for the server-side program, and also .NET Python can also be used for both the applications for the server-side program. And coming to the functionality of the OS on the mobile device has to enable the user to run an application irrespective of the hardware organization. And it has to schedule the total applications, that is nothing but the tasks that are running by the mobile in an order. It has to schedule them, and it has to manage the tasks and also the memory and the corresponding interfaces that are done by the mobile while it is operating with different applications, whether they may be the hardware devices or maybe the software applications or maybe a middleware devices. Whatever the devices that is being interacting with, all those interfacing capabilities and functionalities has to be performed by this operating system. So while going to the architecture of the corresponding mobile device, mobile computing device, the functionalities of the operating system should be like, and the software of the mobile device has to be programmed with Java related applications, the Java related programming languages. And coming to the middleware, what could be the middlewares of the mobile systems or the mobile computing environment will do? What the mobile computing middleware devices? So these mobile devices are going to be acting or linking the components of various network distributed components. What they're doing is, what is the main functionality of the middleware components or the middleware software for a mobile computing environment is nothing but they are linking up or they're connecting various network distributed components for our mobile device. How the applications will be get connected with. That is, if you are being connecting to any Bluetooth device, or if you are connecting with any Bluetooth speaker, or if you are connecting with any laptop, or you are going to connect with any Wi-Fi or hotspot, or you are connected in a conference call or a conference video conferencing, how this is going to be happen, how they will be get connected, how the surrounding areas will be scanned up, how those will be get identified, how you are going to connect it with, how those interfaces will be get compatible, how they will be get combated. All these things will be done by the middleware softwares. Okay. This particular operating system itself consisting of the components of the middleware of the mobile computing devices. The mobile operating system itself is going to providing the middleware components. Okay. So for example, the middleware functionalities has been here given under like this. That is nothing but discovering the nearby Bluetooth devices, discovering the hotspots, changing the hotspot from one to the another one, retrieving the data from the network database, and service discovery. Whatever the services that are available around the mobile, whatever the devices that are around the mobile, all have to be identified. They has to be get connected. They has to identify whether they are compatible or not to connect with our device. All these things will be identified by the middleware software, okay, which are available with the operating system of the mobile computing device itself. See, coming to this architecture. So how the architecture of the mobile device will be looking like? How the mobile computing architecture will be looking like? See, our client application is running at the top. Our client application is running at the top. That is, we have been open a browser, say. We have been open a browser, say. So that particular browser is going to be underneath with what sort of components in the next level. So that particular browser has to be get connected with the application of the user, which has been raised or opened by the user, has to be worked with all these things. What is that? GUI API. That is nothing but a graphical user interface of application programming interface, and phone API. Phone menu is also to be considered, and the application menu has to be considered, and the middleware components, that is service discovery, device management, network management, database components, and everything. All these things has to be get connected with, and communication APIs like giving out a message or call or connecting to the Bluetooth or any communication protocol. What sort of communication path that you have been chosen to run that particular application? It will be chosen from this particular block. Okay. So a particular application is running at the top of our screen of our mobile device. So once the application has been raised up, it has to be get connected with what sort of components in parallel. It has to connect with the application API. It has to connect with phone API. It has to connect with middleware components, if any, and also communication API. It is to be must. Why? Because if you are been if you are been connecting, if you are been working on your mobile itself, or connecting to any network, or connecting to any other friend's mobile, or any hotspot or Wi-Fi, then this particular communication API is required by you. So all these things are being has to be actively and parallelly to be enabled whenever your application has to be worked out. Whenever your application has to execute this GUI API, phone API, middleware components, and communication APIs. To get communicate with other components, these communication APIs are required. To get detected with the surrounding components, we do require the middleware. And to get operated with the phone, we do require the phone API. And to get operated with our client application, we do require the GUI API. So that all these are to be get parallelly enabled to run your application. So how these are to be managed and how these are to be get connected with the client application. As we are discussed that operating system is the heart of any computing system, either it may be a desktop system or maybe a mobile or whatever it is. Here also our operating system will be taking care of all the tasks and applications and all the communicating networks and also the middleware components and now everything. Whatever the application that is being running by the mobile, by the user, it has to be taken care by the operating system. If they are in 1 in number or 10 in number or 100 in number, all those has to be scheduled and they has to be get executed by the operating system itself. So the operating system has to get communicated. And what operating system will be doing or helping you to do with? That is, all these are being enabled, but what the functionality it has to be done with? It has to be done with the functionality with the underlying hardware. What the device hardware consisting of display device, keypad, RAM, flash, embedded processor, and the media processor. So whatever the client application wants to get executed with, it has to execute with the keypad, or it is going to storing some information within it, or it is going to playing some video or audio for you, or it has to do some computation like opening a calculator and whatever thing, or you are going to just seeing a web page to display. If all these things has to be done, it has to get connected with corresponding hardware, so that a device hardware has to be get enabled by the operating system in order to make you work all these things. That is, with the help of all these things, this hardware has to be get enabled to run your application. Okay, right. So what is about other thing? That is radio interface, gateway, and network interface. So if these things has to be get connected to the external world, that is, if the data that you want to that you are computing on your device, that if you want to share with your friends, that are connected with the network. Then you are going to approach radio interface gateway or the network interface. That interface is required for you to reach out from your phone to the or from your mobile device to the any other device or the network itself first. So first you have to connect it to the network. To connect your mobile device to the network, you have to reach this particular interfaces and the gateways. So once you reach the particular gateways and the interfaces, then you are obviously connected to the network. So this is how one side, from the client side, what happens once you are been enabling an application or opening an application or app in your mobile device, then all these things are going to be get enabled. The operating system is going to be scheduling your tasks, your activities, and it is going to be maintaining all the software that you are going to working with, but also hardware that is been required for your work, and the network to which if you want to connect with, to communicate with. That is everything is going to be happening. So this is the way or the architecture of your mobile device through which you are going to be working with or through which your application is running. You are sending your text message, you are sending your MMS, you are sending your video clip, you are setting your status, you are sending your video stream, you are doing your online call, or you are doing your mobile call, normal mobile call, or you are doing a conference call or whatever not, or video conferencing, whatever it is going to be done with in this manner. The sequence of operations has to be done in this architectural design. Whatever the layout here it is being given, according to that particular layout itself, the operations of the device has to be done. Right. So various layers, that is nothing but the architecture is consisting of various layers between the user applications, interfaces, devices, and network hardware, what you are being discussed here. So a well-defined architecture is necessary for systematic computations and access data between software objects of the layers. So as you are being connected with the network, as you are being connected with the communication devices, as you are being connected with different applications, GUIs, APIs, and all these things, obviously the architecture has been organized in different layers. And also the communicating devices are having different layers in their networks or network layers and the network protocols already you have learned through. Already you know about the computer networks and the computer network communication procedures. So according to the particular different layers and applications, interfaces, devices, and the network hardware, we should have the various layers to have a systematic computation of our mobile computing environment. And coming to the protocols. So what are the protocols that you are going to follow to go through these layers and go through the different networks? So if you are being connecting to the network, whether it may be a wide network or wireless network, or maybe a distant network or the shorter distance network, or you are being connected with the corresponding whatever it is, wired device or the non-wired device, how you are being connecting with, if you are having this UI or not, what sort of API you are going to use, what sort of application you have been running on your mobile device. So according to that particular application that you are being running and sending the data over the network, what sort of network that you are going to use. And you are going to following certain set of rules to propagate our information or communicate our information to the other side of the people. So what sort of protocols that you follow in this particular mobile computing environment to transfer our data from the sender side to the receiver side? So already we have seen certain protocols, already we are aware of certain protocols, already we discussed it in mobile communication part, already we know about and aware about these versions, that is GSM 900, GSM 900, 1800, 1900, CDMA we do know, WCDMA, HSPA, UMTS, iMode, LTE, and WiMAX. These are all the various protocols that are used in the mobile computing environment to transfer or to communicate through the various networks. And other protocols are also there, WPAN protocols such as Bluetooth, IRDA, and Zigbee, and WLAN protocols such as 802.11a and 8.2.11b, and WAP protocol, that is Windows Application Protocol, or Web Application Protocols, and Web PAN Application Protocols, and LAN Application Protocols are there. All those protocols, all these protocols are worked out according to the network that we have chosen and according to the communication path that we have chosen in order to send the data from sender to the receiver through our mobile computing architecture. So that we have seen the various layers are being existing, various layers of work. Stages are there in order to send our data, process our data, or compute our data. And these are all the set of rules that you are going to follow to process or communicate our signals of streams of data from sender to the receiver, right? And coming to the layers, everybody know about these things. I think about you have learned the computer networks, right? So already everybody know about this OSS standard, 7-layer format will be there. And coming to the certain layers which are very helpful for us in the mobile communication while passing through the networks are physical. Physical layer is being for sending and receiving signals, where our coding processes will be TDMA or CDMA. The physical layer is being as usual as it is going to be used for transmitting the data and receiving the data. Here the signals are being again done by the physical layers itself according to the OSS standard, whereas the coding procedure will be changed. TDMA and the CDMA will be used at that particular physical level of communication, whereas data link layer is used for multiplexing. That is nothing but networking for linking to the destination. Whether we are communicating with one-to-one and one-to-many or many-to-many and whatever it is, how we are being communicating with each other. So this data link layer is the one which is very responsible for point-to-point communication or many-to-point communication, getting connected with the other point that has been possible with the data link layer. And wireless transport layer security. The transport layer level that you are going to transporting the data without any wide connection. So that security has to be get connected for end-to-end connectivity and end-to-end encryption. How that particular transportation will be done between one point of the communication to the another point of the communication without alteration in the data that is being sent by the sender until it reaches the receiver. That is about the wireless transport layer security. There is security mechanisms has to be get concentrated at the security layer, at the transport layer for our wireless transmission of the data, right? And wireless transaction protocol, that is nothing with the what is called as API layer. That is how we are going to be transporting the information. Wireless transaction protocol, that is session making, wireless session protocol and wireless application environment will be raised up. Wireless session protocol and wireless application environment, WAE and WSP, are going to be used at the transaction protocol. How the information will be get gathered and how it has been conveyed over the transmission network using all these layers from sender to the receiver by running an application or overrunning an application from one mobile to the another mobile. How these physical data link and transport layers are being useful or being used using this wireless transaction protocol for sending our data from sender to the receiver. So that is about the corresponding layers, that is architecture of our mobile computing. So everybody go through this particular architecture. What are the different stages? Here we can say that we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-layered architecture is there. Uh, that is nothing but excluding the client application. We can say we are having 4 layers beneath us in order to communicate with the other device. If you are including this particular client application, we can say that is 6-layered architecture, right? So we are having the different layers at different stages to access the data, to send the data, to what is compute the data and to interface the data and all those things. GUIs are, APIs are there, different network gateways are there, and network connectivities are there through which you are going to communicating with different networks and different layers. And we are having a good number of protocols in order to communicate with the network using depending upon the frequency band in which you are being communicating and the data that you are going to transmitting, and various set of frequencies are the time division slots that we are going to use to send our data to the communication media. Okay, these are the different set of protocols. And the layers already you know about this. That is open standard interchange, 7-layered protocol, 7-layered network communication, among which the physical data link and wireless transport layers are being very helpful for us, the mobile communication section. And whereas physical layer is going to be concerned of sending the receiving the data signals using the TDMA or the CDMA coding, and data link is for multiplexing the data from point to point or multi-point, and wireless transport layer is been concentrating on the security for end-to-end communication and end-to-end encryption. Already you see that particular end-to-end encryption regarding your WhatsApp context. That is, you'll see that you are able to get the end-to-end encryption in sending the data, right? So there you are seeing that. In that way, wireless transaction protocols and wireless session and application protocols will be used for these 3 layers in order to send the data from one point of communication to the another point, right? Okay, limitations and the reference model of the application, that is the mobile computing environment, we'll see in the next class. Right, anybody having any doubts regarding this particular session and also the previous session? See, if you are unable to open up in this particular class or asking the doubts regarding anything, please, please feel free to contact me personally, either through message or through call. If any problem or if any a problem regarding the connectivity to the classes or appearing for the classes or what is called as submitting the assignment and submitting the quizzes and joining the Edmodo and all these things. And I think B group has to be completely not joined the Edmodo. 3 has been remained, whereas A has been completely joined, but A has not been completely submitted the quiz. Hope that at least assignment will be completed by the A section completely before the due date, and also I hope the B section will also completely join the Edmodo group and also complete the assignment before the due date, before it expires and gets locked. Okay. And if there any problem and if there any doubt regarding the session and the previous sessions, uh, you can ask me now. Is there any problem? Is there any doubt regarding this session and the previous session? See, and regarding the connectivity in the previous class at 11 o'clock, right? So somebody has been just pushed into our class meeting. I think one of your classmates will be the culprits for sharing that particular link to the unknown person. So they are going to be creating the panic in the classwork while the class is going on. And once I asked so that person regarding his identity, he has been answered in a reckless way. So this is not the one which has been expected from you as the final years, and you are going to be knowing about how the class environment and the college environment will be looking like and how it will be get disciplined. If you are crossing the particular limits, your class people will be the losers and you will be getting the lose of your attendance and your deductions. So please keep in mind while sharing the particular links. So what is the need of me sharing those links to the outsiders who are not belonging to our class? So please be cautious and don't do that sort of mischievous things while class is going on. Why? Because ultimately, finally, you will be the losers regarding the class subject that will be conveyed by the staff, or any other credits that can be added or can be appended from you from the staff will be get cut off from our side. You are not getting any benefit. Even if you are able to connect to the class, or if you are not able to connect to the class, you will be the losers. So until and unless you will be in a disciplined manner and you will be very confidential while listening the class, and you will be trusted so while the class is going on, as you are not physically in contact. So please be disciplined and please be trustworthy while attending the classes, and please avoid the outsiders. What is the need to allow them into the classes while the class is only for you? So if you are not able to listen, if you are feeling low, don't just not connect to the class at all. Why you are going to allowing the others to get into the class? Okay. And finally, please submit the assignment before the due date. And if any doubts regarding the assignment, please please in contact with me. Either message me or call me. Please feel free that if any doubt regarding writing or referring the data or what sort of subject or things has to be written in the assignment, please contact, right? Please perform the activities that are being asked by the staff, which has been recurrently asked by the staff and requesting by the staff to do that. Why? Because as you are not directly in contact with us, everything has to be done in online, everything has to be done in a phone or WhatsApp contact. So please do that. So I'm leaving the session. If any doubts are there, please ask in the next session. Please refer to the concept regularly. Otherwise, you will be not in intact with the concepts. You will be losing the intact whenever you are just leaving the concept and finally reading for the exams. It's not a good idea, right? Okay. So session is over. I am leaving now.